What's up, everybody? You are now tuned in to StarCHaser Central, a podcast about Charles hymns and music moments and everything in between. I'm Sick Braxton.
And I am Mike D. Jackson with food and the return of you know what.
Okay, so here's the thing. First off, shout out to you. You got paid again. That's what's up. Number
Fuck out of
two,
here. No, I did not. I
number
did not get paid.
number two, are you sure that's the Celsius?
So this is what they said. So it's only in certain flavors where this is one of them, Astro Vibe. It's like blue raz and something else, but it's supposed to have like a silver top. So
Oh, okay.
mhm, if you think about it, this is kind of like McDonald's when they start doing the whole, hey, guess what? If you get these Monopoly tickets, guess what? You win. So buy a Celsius, see which one you get. Oh, not the silver top. Try again. Oh, not the silver top. Try again. Does it taste like high noon? Allegedly? Uh, I don't know. I've actually never had a high noon real rap. So, but I will say, y'all already know I've been doing this since last year. I think I posted it on Instagram. It's July, at least July, when I was drinking Celsius last year. So no one can say I jumped on the bandwagon. Y'all are on my bandwagon. So
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean that's when you signed the deal. I mean, the deal was signed, and then you started, and I was like, it's been a fruitful, relationship since. So shout out to you and all the bajillion bucks that you be making. But how you doing, man? Other than that, how you doing?
other than that, I'm good. Not getting a set from them, but regardless, that's neither here or there. Finally got a haircut. Um, it was like my barber was on vacation. He went to Alaska. I don't give a fuck about that, but he was gone for like 2 to 3 weeks, and I was like, man, I just gotta wolf it out. And then I already told him like, yo, when you come back, I need a haircut, and he already had me on the schedule and all that. So I'm like, yo, I'm getting that haircut today, and as you can see, so I feel a lot better now because I don't like looking scruffy, bro. That's just I hate that shit. But how are you doing, man?
I'm good, man. Today is my youngest third birthday, so happy birthday to Kai. Um, I'm doing okay. It's cool. Life is all right. We're in August. It feels like the year's just breezing by. With some of the hottest weather I've ever seen and some of the weirdest weather I've ever seen. I'm very excited for fall. I thought I'd never say that in my life, but I really need that weather. And next month is going to be great.
I feel you. Also, happy birthday to your son. Three, magic number. Yeah, this weather is crazy. I thought about it, man. I was like, man, we're actually in August, like these last 7 months or whatever. I'm like, geez, like I'm starting to feel like I did blink and we just skipped August for real. I really feel like that. They always say that, oh, blink and you miss it. Like this year actually felt like that. I'm like, this year is almost over already. But when it comes to that weather, yes, I'm ready. I'm ready for like the long sleeve weather. I'm kind of done with this heat because I ain't trying to get blacker than this. I'm not trying to look like my damn t-shirt. So
Fair. But we are back, man, with a new episode and tape that you know what, the tape that AI apparently cannot figure out what it is. I typed in some research and they were like, no, you're wrong, buddy. We are listening to the Broken Pink Lava Lamp.
yes, sir. The broken pink lava lamp. I just call it the broken lava lamp just
That's what
because.
I do.
Yeah, I just call it the broken lava lamp. But it is important. The broken pink lava lamp. This tape came out. Well, let me not say when it came out because it came out later on. Technically, I'll say it was recorded between 2005, 2006, that era, like before we knew Charles, before he like really was blowing up and all that.
Mhm.
Definitely an earlier tape. And also a fan requested tape. We had someone a while ago ask for the broken pink lava lamp.
Mhm.
And this is interesting because I think we're going to have a lot of issues or situations where, of course, if you say pink lava lamp, you already know the iconic pink lava lamp.
Mhm.
This project, I think ends up just being shadowed instantly because even when we talk about like something like the blue lava lamp or black lava lamp, I feel like this one really doesn't get talked about. I don't want to say at all, but nowadays I want to say like at all now because it just seems like maybe there's maybe new fans, like the brand new ones that have no idea this even exists at all. Because by the time this actually, I'll say was released or leaked, whatever you want to call it, maybe like 2012, 2013, around that era, but we didn't get to hear it when it first like was released. We heard it later on. So
Yeah, I think this is one of those situations where time has just kind of erased, not erased, but like kind of shrouded this one, not in like in mystery. Um, because yeah, like nobody really brings this up, but at the same time, it could be just because of what this tape is. It's one of those things where it's a project that we have, but is it a project that was meant to be put together? And I think we'll kind of answer that as we go along, just based off of what the songs were. Um, do you remember your first time listening to this tape?
definitely, like I said, probably around that 2012, 2013 point in time, whenever it was like released, there were maybe one or two songs I heard before that I think were leaked, maybe on like, how you talked about it before. I heard this song on a best of Charles
Hmm.
Hanson mixtape or whatever the case is. Like, I want to say like at least two of the songs I might have heard like something like that or just as a Lucy. But
Hmm.
I definitely remember hearing this tape. When I heard it first time, I'm like, this is good. But I think that's all I really had because I was like, it's definitely not beating the regular Pink Lava Land, but it kind of felt like a prototype, maybe kind of like what you said, like, hey, maybe we weren't supposed to get this project, or maybe this project was supposed to be the original Pink Lava Lamp and maybe got scrapped for different ideas and whatnot. But I definitely remember hearing it, and I remember saying, "Yeah, it's good, it's good." But I just kind of like was like, it's okay," just because maybe it was old, earlier Charles music. How about you? Do you remember your first time listening?
Yeah. Probably one of those things where you do like a searching, like, oh, what new music or what Charles Hampton music haven't I heard yet? And I think I stumbled across this. Um, yes, I had the same reaction. I was like, oh, this is a good batch of music. Stuff that maybe if you hadn't heard on your looking for like certain like Lucy's or stuff like that or the unreleased tapes that you wouldn't have heard otherwise. Um, but yeah, I thought it was a solid batch of songs. Not like I said, that's the thing. I was like, oh, this is cool for what it was because it wasn't new music, but it was new to us music. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely new to us. And I'll say this, the way I felt about, let's say, sober karaoke or from the desk up,
Hmm.
I felt like, hey, when I heard all of those three projects, I'm like, okay, yeah, it's newer music to us because we didn't hear it before.
Hmm.
But I'm like, I didn't feel the same way as in, I know for those two other projects, I was like, well, you could definitely tell this is a early project, like one of his first early recordings.
Hmm.
I feel like with this one, it's like, okay, you could tell maybe Charles is a little bit more comfortable or he has maybe a better idea of what he wanted to do.
Hmm.
At the same time, though, the name itself, the Broken Pink Lava Lamp, because it makes me think, what like the chicken or the egg, what came first, the pink lava
Right.
lamp or the broken one? Because like technically, I guess name wise, it'd be like, oh, the pink lava lamp makes sense, and then the broken one came after, maybe, but who knows? I don't think we ever got clarification on that. I think this just came out later on. And was this actually even supposed to be a lava lamp?
Hmm.
Was this just like after Charles came out with the pink lava lamp, decided, hey, you know what? We're just going to title this the Broken Pink Lava Lamp?
Yeah. This tape has 15 songs. So let's get into the cover first, which, does if you don't pay attention close enough, you will think you're looking at the pink lava lamp. So, how you feel about the cover?
Just an update. There's not alcohol in this. There's that I did not win, unfortunately. So
I'm sorry to hear that.
nah, it's cool. Um, I don't think we need to do a Clueless Vino episode on the StarCHaser Central podcast where we end up. That would be a good idea though. Just drinking Celsius, establish the alcohol. Anyway, um, with this cover, like you said, similar to the regular or OG Pink Lava Lamp, but a little different because you it's broken.
Mhm.
I think just it being simple like that works. I don't think he needed to do anything extra, something special, something crazy. Oh, it's a broken lava lamp. Like just or there's cracks in there. That's all you really need to do. And then it just kind of gives you the if you already heard the pink lava lamp, then you're like, okay, well this might be like a either a part two, quote unquote, or maybe it's a hey, this is like the pink lava lamp zero technically. So it makes you wonder, but not too much to the point where it's like, oh, it's going to be a bad feel because Pink Lava Lamp, just in itself, you say that, critically acclaimed, fan favorite, So I like what he did. Didn't have to do too much compared to, other projects where it's like you 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 see too much and then it's just like, well, how's the music going to turn out? It's just like, okay, Pink Lava Lamp, Broken Pink Lava Lamp. I like the Pink Lava Lamp. I should like this, right? That's my sentiment.
Yeah, this is very this is a cool marketing ploy used here. I know you're not selling it, but like it's a great thing that he did here, as that, like you said, it looks definitely identical to the pink lava lamp, besides the cracks that you can see on the lava lamp here. Um, so let's say you're a listener of Charles, your Star Chaser, and you're just going, you're typing, or you just you're scrolling and you see this cover, and you automatically think it's the pink lava lamp. You hit that button. Now, initially, you're gonna be like, "This isn't what I'm looking for," but maybe that first song, you're like, "I've never heard this before," so you stay on board. It's a smart move if you really think about it, from a product placement standpoint. Yeah, so I like the cover. Like I said, it's real simple, but that subtle detail helps it kind of draw in a listener more than maybe a more original or different type of cover would have.
True. And I think it's just one of those things where you just can't really go wrong with it. The lava lamp, especially at that time for Charles's career, very synonymous with him. Like I think by this point, okay, blue was out, and everyone feels the way they do about the blue lava lamp. But I would say at least with pink, anything with pink, it's like, oh, probably going to be good. But for the most part, we weren't too far into the lava lamp series yet to for people to feel a certain way. Like
Mm.
we talked about before, certain projects or certain series starts off well, and then it could potentially get bogged down by too many releases, too many names, too many sequels, too many prequels, too many, whatever. But so far, we were good at this point.
Uh, all 15 today?
We can do all 15 because you already know we're not doing technically all 15. But yeah, I think we can knock this out because there's definitely a song I want to talk about, and you might not know, but when we get there, yeah.
Okay. We start off with the very cleverly titled intro.
I don't know if anyone's ever done this before with any artist, but like certain projects or certain albums people have, they name the first song intro. If anyone's ever taken the intro for everyone's song that's called intro, because I'm like, it's smart to do it just one time, but
Mhm.
I'm pretty sure there's artists that do it multiple times where it's like, hey, where was this track list of like all these songs called intro? Oh, this is the intro to this tape. This is the intro to this album. Anyway, that was just a thought I had. This intro does exactly what it does. It has a classic mixtape intro feel. So for me, that's like it has a nice beat, hard lyrics, no hook, and that's normally what I think about when someone has a song called intro. It's going to
Mhm.
be some type of song where it's like, hey, there's not going to be a hook, or it might be a hook that gets played once, and you either do like one or two verses, one really long verse, and you just kind of introduce yourself. Like you kind of tell people what you're about to get into and whatnot. It does
Mhm.
its job. I don't really have anything negative to say about it. It's a good intro.
Yeah, I like this. I want to say that. movie clip is from what movie?
Reservoir Dogs.
Yeah, Reservoir Dogs. A perfect way to intro, just cutting off of that. Why am I Mr. Pink and then getting into it. Charles kind of gets in on his Papoose bag, kind of rapping each letter with a couple of alliteration type raps or whatever. Um, he does a really good job here. Raps pretty well. What does he say? I really like this one. He said, when it came to girls, I was never cute, never fly, just a regular dude to tell the truth. Shit changed now. Hoes look better with a better view. So PINK means pussy I never knew. I was like, ah, that's crazy. That's a fire little bar you got there. But yeah, like you said, it's no hook. This is just strictly these are the type of bars I'm gonna be giving you throughout the tape. I hope you enjoy the ride. So a solid intro.
Definitely. I was about to laugh about the Papoose thing because I don't know why. The first thing I think about with Papoose, yeah, because he had the alphabetical slaughter, but then I think about his ad lib he used to have back in the day, the Papoose, Papoose. Like, it's your name. Why are you questioning it? Like,
Why are you questioning it?
like, are you asking me what your name is, or are you who are you asking? Yes, I guess your name is Papoose. Whatever, bro. What the fuck is a Papoose anyway,
I don't know, man. He is a papoose is something that a woman named Remy Ma will take advantage of.
Oh God. Because I was gonna say, like, is it similar to like a mongoose? Is it in that type of family? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Just papoose, mongoose, guava juice.
It's a Pokemon. Number two is number two is cuffing. What you got for that one?
Um, so it's funny because this song it definitely has that I call it the throwback feel, because number one, if you guys are of that age or of that era, if you were caught cuffing, that's a no-no. By the way, if y'all wondering what cuffing is, it's this or boo loving. We would say boo loving too. But
Mhm.
just like you with your girl, whatever, you just like you on the phone with her, you doing all the cute stuff, whatever. But it's just of that era where like, dude, oh, you cuffing, you boo loving, which sounds mad stupid to be like, oh, why are you all up on your girl? Because that's my girl. Why? I don't know why that was a thing. I just stupid. But you just couldn't get caught cuffing because your boys would make fun of you about that. But it's a smooth song about love and relationships. I love the sample and the direction Charles went with this. Just it's a good song. It's chill all the way around. From the hook, the verses, all that. Just it has that good feel energy to it. It's one of those things where I guess you say the guilty pleasure of like because everybody be doing it, everybody be cuffing, but you just don't want to get caught doing it because once again, it sounds stupid. Oh man, I don't be hugging, loving on my girl like that. That's gay. No, it's not, but okay, but it's a good song.
That was always the weirdest thing for me. Is like, yeah, if you got caught cuffing, that's the quote unquote insult they would throw at you. Bro, you all up on your girl? That's gay. Like, what? What? I'm not sure. I'm not sure if you know the definition, bro. But nah, actually, this is cool. I This next three song stretch is like I said, I've listened to this tape, but I don't remember it. But that could be again because when I used to listen for the songs that I liked, pick those songs out, and then I would just listen to those songs. So I don't really remember this as much, but now I listen to it, it's like this is a decent song. It's definitely that old school, that early Charles style song making, which isn't a bad thing. It just depends on your preference for how Charles raps or how he makes songs. We have been recently talking about in the Discord about what would Charles sound like if he tried to make pop records or make like a more pop like sound or was trying to make singles for radio. I think stuff like this is kind of the example that would work, especially during that time period. Maybe not today, um, but this is cool. This is a decent record. It's it's very simple. The hook's very simple, very repetitive. Baby, what's your name? It's that repetitive type of hook that you got that kind of will be infectious, kind of an earworm type of situation. Um, I wouldn't call it one of my favorite songs, but it is a good song and it follows the intro up pretty well. Cain and Abel, the greatest brothers of all time. That's nice.
I thought the greatest brothers of all time was Kane and Undertaker, but sorry, I had to.
No, you're not wrong. And I think that one what I'm supposed to be called that the
Mm,
Undertaker was actually supposed to be called Kane, and I think Kane was going to be called a what at at some point, but then they changed it.
Yeah, because technically, I think they had like drawings and like kind of like a idea of it's like Kane the Undertaker, like
Yeah.
which is crazy. But it's like I'm glad they just went with the Undertaker. Anyway, so this is interesting. This is the infamous diss song. That if you heard the original Pink Lavalamp, you heard Charles say, I'm sorry I wrote Cain and Abel. And I remember hearing that song, I'll be around, and it's
Hmm.
like, what's Cain and Abel? And I think for the longest time, a lot of us didn't know what song is that? What happened? I want to
Hmm.
say on the old blog, the first well, the original one, charleshamilton.blogspot.com. I feel like
Hmm.
Charles kind of like he talked about it a little bit, saying, "Hey, yeah, me and Nate, we had to fall out because this and that, whatever." And then I wrote a song, and I regret doing it, this and that.
Hmm.
Fast forward, we finally get to hear the song, and I'm like, "Oh man!" So we finally get to hear what caused the rough, what caused the issue. So I hear the song. I'll be honest. I thought this song was going to be a lot worse than what I thought. Like the way that it was explained and how it was talked about, I'm like, man, Charles must have went crazy and said this and that.
Hmm.
I'm gonna have to technically disagree. So, without context, like if you just heard the song, didn't have any idea about what it's about, I wouldn't even think it's a diss song. It's just, Charles just speaking his mind about like, hey, the story of Cain and Abel. One brother had the talent, had the skills, the other one didn't, and hated, you know. And Charles goes on about in the song, like, yo, man, like I've been doing this, I got the gift, and people are showing me love, and you're talented too, but you're hating on me because you don't have what I have, and I don't think it's cool. And I feel a certain way about it. And the way Charles goes about it in the song, like he don't even he's not even like, yo, fuck you, this, and that. Your mom didn't know. He's just like, yo, man, it's just messed up that you doing me dirty like this, but
Hmm.
I guess it is what it is, though. You know what I mean? But I'm just hurt by it. I'm not even mad. I'm disappointed. That's the route Charles took. Versus young Nate don't want gunplay, he wants come and tongue play. That now some shit like that, I'm like, that's what I was expecting. I was expecting him to say some crazy shit like that on this,
Yeah.
and he didn't. So overall though, this is a really good song. Like I said, context, no context, whatever. Charles just really being like, hey man, I'm hurt because my boys not supporting me like they should. At
Hmm.
the end of the day, I want to keep going and doing what I'm doing. And I'll see y'all at the red carpet. Sarcasm. But yeah, y'all gonna see me there on TV. Y'all ain't gonna be there, But that's like the worst thing he says, I think, on the song, honestly.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's a good song.
Yeah. Everything you said is correct. This is a very good song. A very surprisingly good song because, like, I don't think nobody I've ever run across has brought up Cain and Abel. As far as like, have you heard that? Like, never heard of it. Like you said, it's not really a diss. It's more of like I don't even, it's not even a light jab. It's just like, bro, like it feels like you're letting me down, but you're using a story though. I will say you're using the story you're using is can be seen as a diss because like one of the brothers obviously kills the other one. So it's like which part of you are you is I assume Nate would be Cain because he's trying to kill uh Charles because he has the talent or because he's getting more attention or whatever. I could see maybe that taking offense, but other than that, it's like just he's detailing why I'm kind of in this position, why I'm sad or whatever. But the confusion for me comes we get back into does this tape why does this tape exist? What was this tape actually meant to be a thing? We're gonna see real soon. Why would this song be on here if it's a diss? And then the other songs that are on here, why would they coexist on this tape?
Yeah, because this could just have been like not necessarily a diss, just a misunderstanding. And I will say this, hindsight 2020 and all that, we got
Mm,
to remember this was recorded like 2005, 2006.
yep.
Charles would be like 18, 19. Him and Nate, they'd be like still young teenagers and whatnot.
Yeah.
And our temperament now in our 30s is a lot different than when you're a teenager, especially, being from New York and being aggressive and, you said what? Oh, fuck that. And it's just like that. And the shit could just go left instantly, just like that, over just a misunderstanding. So
We follow that up with, hold on, lost my place. So tired.
yeah. So with this song, you get technically the first features where it's someone named Chad. Real name, no gimmicks, I guess. No, no first name, no first last name, just Chad, like
Straight
Prince.
chat, get to the point,
Yeah,
Chad.
yeah, yeah. Yo, what up, Chad? Uh, and then Lavelle, I believe the other person's name is.
Mm,
Um, I'll be honest. I think Chad had a decent verse on here. Sounds like his maybe first time recording or first few times recording. It's just
mm,
like I don't want to say like a nervousness, but it's like a maybe like an unreadiness in his voice that reminds me of like when I listened to my first like songs when I was like 18, 19, where I'm
mm,
like, you could definitely tell like I wasn't as comfortable in the studio yet. Like I'm reading off the paper and you could just kind of hear it like, oh, what you're saying is good, but you're not seasoned yet. You're just starting. You can just kind of tell. But he has a decent verse. Um, Lavelle, I'm assuming is the person singing in the background, the vocals. Her vocals are good. Charles' verse on here is my favorite. Just him speaking realness, the hook, the combination of everyone coming together is awesome because they all, you know, intertwine with the hook. Like with Lavelle singing, Charles and Chad, kind of going back and forth, just doing what they're doing. My favorite part, I would say, Charles had this bar. A full course meal is a Mountain Dew, a fucking brownie, and haze. Yet still, I'm not about getting paid. That's been his MO, his bottom line
yeah.
forever, even back then before he got on, where he's literally telling y'all like, my what's it say? My life is Shakespearean. Hope thou art amazed. Just
Mhm.
Charles was really spitting on here. You know what I mean? So it's a good song. Charles really brings out the best in this song here.
Yeah, I'm not mad at Chad in here. Like I said, it's you can tell it's like new for him. What was the name of the guy that said never to rap again? What tape were we listening to?
I'm
Was it
assuming like a binge one or something like that.
nah, it was like a later tape or something. Remember because we were like 'cause like the dude flew in or something to rap with Charles, and I was like, "Hey man, don't do this every. Oh, if I find it, oh, I'm remember
Oh,
it.
wait. For and ever, that dude.
No, it wasn't him. It was we listened to it on here. There was an episode, and I was like, he should have just not rapped at all. I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna find it, and if I had the time, I'm gonna edit it in here and just like type the name in there. But I'm not mad at it. He did a decent job or whatever. The thing about this track though is that I think the beat does this weird like high pitched thing that I may not like as much, like for like a repetitive part of time. Um, Laybell does a decent job. What I love the most is that hook. That hook that Charles does in here. I love it so much. It's a great. You can feel the emotion out of it, and like with the beat at the same time, and like that Charles singing isn't that bad either. I kind of like it in that portion. Charles, like that, Charles's verse is really good. Would I like a version with just him and the hook as well? Sure, I wouldn't mind it. But this is decent. Again, not one of my favorite songs, but I think it's a good song. It's not a bad song. I'll say that.
Definitely. I think um I think it's going to be hard to say like what's considered bad or not because a lot of times I know, especially for you, not trying to throw you on the bus. I know a lot of times when Charles raps with other people, it's usually like oh, this was a good Charles song, and then so and so rapped on it, and it wasn't great. But I think early Charles music, like you really don't have that issue. It's like maybe later on when like not only styles clash, it's just
Mhm.
like lack of direction and whatnot. But I feel like even though we're still not sure why this is called the Broken Pink Lavalamp, there's a sense of direction with these songs and these collaborations.
I'm pretty sure we've talked about this record at maybe at least once. Do It is up next.
I feel like we've had to have, at least if you haven't, I definitely have.
Yeah.
Now, I'm to bring this back to one of our previous episodes that just happened recently. This is how you sample a Joe record and then, flip it and do everything to it. You know what I mean? Um, I forget what the name of the song was, but I want to say it was on the Trailblazing episode. Charles sampled that Joe song.
Yep.
And this one I want to say is the was it All the Things Your Man Won't Do? Whatever. Classic Joe song, like one of the most popular songs. I remember the first time I heard the song, I remember just like you hear it come in, I'm like, oh, what did he do to this? You hear it, instant. Instant, you already know it's fire. Charles basically talking about how he's trying to, pursue a girl that's, already has a boyfriend, already has a man, which is pretty much what Joe does on his song. You know what I mean? Um, all the verses are great, the hook smooth, the outro with the repeating sample is amazing. You know what I mean? I love it. It's just one of the things where I think the reason why this succeeds versus how the other song didn't do as well because um Charles played the pocket well. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
both had really great samples, great sample flips, but maybe it's the storytelling element in here where Charles, hey, I'm interested in this girl. She has a man. Then, we get to the second verse, I'm still pursuing her, trying to see what's up, whatever, just in third verse. So he's like, telling you what he's doing versus the other song where it's kind of just him rapping. Like
Yeah.
he might be just like really trying to like relay a message, but there's nothing really there. Like there's actual like substance, a lot of substance here. And like I said, he didn't try to sing on here or whatever because it didn't need to. Just play the hook, play that sample flip, play the hook,
Mhm.
go out. That's it. You know what I mean? Uh so I think that's why that this works so much better than the other song. Also, bonus points for the quirky punchlines. He had some punchlines in there. He said, tell me about your man. Oh, he's an average Joe. Get it? Because the song sampling Joe. That's the stuff I mean where like I've told Charles about this before. With some of the older music, like you would do stuff like this. Hey, I'm hinting towards what the sample is, or I'm hinting to what the song is, or I'm giving you a punchline or a bar about this and that. Get it? It's the get it? That's how witty and clever I am. Versus, like I said, now where you don't get that as much. It's just him rapping. So there's nothing to latch onto. There's multiple things to latch onto the song. The sample, the flip, the hook, the bridge, the outro, the intro, some of the bars. But nowadays it's like, okay, if you know the sample or you know the bar or maybe not the bar, but like if you know the beat or the sample, I got two options compared to you had 20 before. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
That's a good point. And just for the fun of it, man. Like we used to just being able to pick up that type of Easter egg, I guess is what you would call them today. Just hearing that, like, that's I like what you did there. We don't get that enough in like the newer music, and I feel like now the newer music, it's like we have to decipher or we have to know different things or whatever. Whereas this was kind of like, I won't call it like basic bars, but like just surface level stuff where it's like even a casual listener will be able to pick it up right after the first listen. You know what I'm saying? So I do kind of miss that portion of it. This song is amazing. I don't feel like we have to spend too much time on it because we know what this song is. We know what this song does. Like you said, when you first hear this song, there are a few Charles songs where when it comes on, it's an instant. I already know what you're about to do here. There's no way you're messing this up. And this is kind of one of those ones. Um, a lot of just cool stuff here, man. Just, just fly shit. I said, I know you had thoughts of me. She said, how? Well, your bra is pink. Like, come on, man. Like, that's, it's not even like a crazy bar, but just that whole like swag. Like, come on, you know what time it is. That's cool. I love how he does that. And then just like some of the more storytelling elements, like in the third verse, how it starts. As the summer died, I got a number. I wondered why I shouldn't give this shit another try, but she really fell in love with the guy. Couldn't get enough of the guy. Shit, I was fucking surprised. Like the sound of disappointment and like real shock. Like, damn, I thought we were vibing during the summer, but you just couldn't shake him. Like that's you feel that. You know what I'm saying? That's a very relatable type of situation. So this record is one of the best on the tape, if not the best on the tape. Can't say enough good things about it.
definitely in my top three. I'll say that. My favorite, my personal favorite will come a little bit later, but yeah, definitely top three. I'll say that.
Uh Now this is where we come back to our previous statement. Uh, Charles Hamilton, much more featuring Young Nate, who allegedly he dissed a few songs ago.
Allegedly. We're not exactly sure, but
Allegedly.
allegedly. Much more so, this is first time we get to, well, not our first time, but let's say if we first heard this project back then, hey, your first time hearing Young Nate, technically.
Hmm.
So I like the combination with this, whatever. We've always talked about, Young Nate always been a great rapper.
Hmm.
He brings the aggression and the swag, you know what I mean? You kind of get to like understand who he is as a person versus how Charles is. Charles, he's more, I won't say super laid back, but he's not like doing gun bars and all that type of stuff and the aggressive stuff that Nate does.
Hmm.
Charles comes on the track with the authentic truth. That's what I'll say. You know what I mean? Because Charles knows who he is, and then he does what he does, and then he lets everyone else do what they do, and then
Yeah.
it works in perfect harmony. I would say this is between Charles and Nate. This is probably an underrated song that they have that people probably don't talk about as much. Once again, because not sure who's heard this project or not. Good bars, soulful sample flip, and overall it has like that feel good energy to it. They go back and forth, and it's dope. I think the probably the wildest thing is Nate's in the beginning where he's saying his mom told him to stop saying nigga, so he said I won't nigger. It's like, oh, okay. All right. I get it. I get why, but all right, okay. All right. But other than that, good song.
So if you don't want no trouble, just get out. Cause young name Charles in the motherfucking house. Ain't no way that you can fold me, dummy. Couldn't fold my name with a roll of 20s. It's been that way since I started rapping. Nigga, I'm a loose cannon and it's time to play target practice. Niggas saying they gon' knock me down, but I can't hear shit like Foxy Brown.
I like it a lot. I think of all the Demevelis guys, I would say Charles and Nate have the best chemistry. I don't know how you feel about that. I do like a lot of show records with him. Um, but I think, yeah, I would say Nate probably has the best chemistry. And I think if we're taking high for high, peak for peak, I would probably, I'd probably pick a Charles Nate record over probably anybody else. They do well. Charles lets Nate go twice. That's the other thing too, is this happens again later with show as well. But Charles again just trying to show the guy some love, trying to really shine them out. He let Nate get two verses first, and then he came on. So he let it's not one of the situations where we can listen to Charles two times and then Nate goes where a person be like, I'm not listening to this. I'll just listen to Charles verses and turn it off. No, you're gonna listen to my boys verses first, and then you can get to my record. You know what I'm saying? So I always commend him for doing that. Um, Charles has got some good raps here too. Uh, he's funny. Just with some of the records that he got, niggas saying they gonna knock me down, but I can't hear shit like Foxy Brown. Like, I mean, I get it. You didn't have to do that though. Like, I know it rhymed, but like, you could. That's kind of crazy. But yeah, this is a good record. I like this. Yeah, yeah. I, I I I can't wait to hear more Young Nate records.
Interesting you say that. Continue.
So our next record is Charles Hamilton, Ladybug, featuring Young Nate.
Hey, okay. Listen, here's my idea, right? Like, if you end up having a good song with someone,
Yeah,
I don't see the problem with going back to back. Hey, let's do another song on here. You know
go back
what?
to the
Hey,
well. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with that. So they do another song. Now this is a little bit different from much more. Charles and Nate, they do like the smooth approach. You know what I mean? They're making a
Mhm.
song. I guess I'll say this. They made a song for the ladies, right? But this is really more about creeping with a girl while being in a relationship. So I'm not sure if you really want to say this is like for the ladies, but it's one of the songs where like, I'll be honest. Most women don't pay attention to lyrics. They if they can vibe and dance to a song, whatever, they don't care what the song's about. What is it
Right.
about? I don't care. I can shake my ass to it. That's literally what women be doing. I'm like, so but yeah, they're talking about creeping. You know what I mean? They already got a girl. They said you can't be my girl. You can be my ladybug, which is crazy. I don't know if that's a New York thing. Like yo, like if that's like romantic, like you can be my ladybug. Oh, that ass me.
Well,
You
ladybugs
know?
are good luck apparently. So there's that.
That's probably the way that they twisted it back then. Like, oh, it means good luck. Oh my God, I'm his good luck charm. Like, sure. Okay. But they do the smooth approach or whatever. And I would say this is my favorite collaboration on this project with them.
Okay.
And one of my overall favorite collaborations that they have together overall. Not my favorite, but like one of my favorites. If we're
Okay.
just talking about Charles and Nate, not Charles, Nate, and insert someone else like Show or
But
whoever.
just those two.
Yeah, just those two, whatever. 'Cause I'm like, oh, this is a smooth song. I think this is one of the songs I heard this randomly, not knowing this was part of this project, or whatever. I'm like, oh, this is a fire song, you know what I mean? The ending, hilarious, fucking hilarious.
Yes.
Where I think that's part of the cuffing situation, you know what I mean? Charles being on the phone, he was cuffing, and then Nate decides, oh yeah, you talking to Lisa, Shaquita, Ashley?
Nigga, shut up.
And then the worst part, he's like, it's none of them. And then it's like, you mean none of them like it's someone else, or none of them as in, and he's like, you gonna wake Toya up? Because like I guess Toya was nearby or whatever. It's like, bro. And that's so if y'all don't know, that's kind of one of the reasons why you don't cuff in front of your boys, because then they start doing crazy stuff like that, whatever, where you get yourself in trouble. And then the fact where I think Charles was probably really mad, or he did a great job acting. Because then he's like, yo, take the phone, take the fucking phone. Take the fucking phone. I'm like, damn, he must have been real mad. Then Nate decides to be like, yo, hello? What do you say? What you wearing? You got panties on?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'm cute, huh? It's like, yo, does she even know you? You just say that off your voice? And let me not forget the part where like he could keep going through all those names, and then Charles like, it's none of them. He's like, oh, that's your ladybug, huh?
Yeah.
That I feel like that's the equivalent of like when there's a TV show or movie, and then they say the name of the TV show or movie on the thing. It's like, oh, he did the
You
thing.
said it.
He said it. He said the thing. But nah, it's a good song. Like I said, the ending hilarious. So
Yeah, this is one of you know what I remember this being a part of? I don't for whatever reason, I always remember this being part of like a 2-pack of something. It was this and it was Naked. Um the Omarion flip or whatever. No, I'm sorry, the Marcus Houston flip. My fault. Um yeah, so like when I heard this, I'm like, oh, this is a good record. Uh Charles and Nate really have that good like, especially when what they do on the hook where they both take a part of the hook. So Nate does the first part, Charles does another part. It's like they do like different point of views or different like sections of the hook, and they really have good back and forth energy or whatever. But yeah, the only thing that outshines the hook and like the verses is like I said is that ending. It's just like it's so funny. But then it makes you wonder, right? Why? What could they have been? What could have happened between them where he felt like the Cain and Abel thing was a diss, or they had that falling out? It just feels like they were brothers. Like if you, it was one of the situations where like if you saw Charles, Nate probably wasn't far away, and vice versa. You know what I'm saying? That's what it kind of feels like the relationship they probably had at some point. So just hearing this and kind of knowing the story we know about Cain and Abel, I wonder what happened behind the scenes like that.
I would say it's one of those things where, like you said, you on I guess on camera or like on record, whatever. We see them like obviously like chilling, getting along, having fun, like I said, busting each other's balls back and forth, whatever, getting on each other's nerves or whatever. But that's what brothers do.
Mm-hmm.
So in my head, I'm like, it has to be like something like behind the scenes that we just don't know about. You know what I mean? Where it's just like, man, like obviously, like for example, like people see me and you together doing this podcast or whatever. So like if something was to knock on wood, whatever. Actually, that's wood right there. Pause. But if something was to happen between us, it'd be like, oh man, they do a podcast together, they do this and they be laughing and joking on social media all the time, whatever. It'd be like, oh, it's some behind the scenes type shit where, you know what I mean? Like, oh, I didn't know that, So I'm like, it has to be like something that we just didn't know about, that like what's going on in their personal lives.
Yeah.
You could be my ladybug. Just don't tell my lady, cause you know my ladybug. I don't know. Maybe it's the G, yo, she high off feet. Nah, miss, I think you high off me. Yo, what you think, kid? You can be my ladybug. Just don't tell my lady, cause you know my ladybug. See, I don't wanna let you go, but I gotta let you know you gotta keep it on the low. Keep it on the low.
I hope we can hear another Young Nate record. Up next is Modern Man, Charles Hamilton featuring Young Nate. Like, oh, what is this? When we got to this point, I got to this point in the tape. I was like, all right, bro, what is this? Was this like the Charles and Young Nate tape that was supposed to happen, and then we just fluffed it out with other records? I was like, what is this? It was I was like, I don't remember this much Young Nate on this tape.
So, um, I'm gonna just say it now. I was gonna wait. I was gonna wait, but I'll say it now. Um, Hearing this again, I'm like you said, that's three Charles and Nate collaborations right back to back to back. And my thing is this, I'm like, I'm not mad about the track listing, how it is, but in my head, I'm like, wouldn't you want to kind of space them out? Apparently not. No, just yeah, just, y'all getting Young Nate all at once. You know what I mean? Pause if need be.
That was kind of crazy. I ain't gonna hold
Yeah, that's what I said. You know what I mean? We're
you.
talking
Yeah.
about like you're getting another man three times in a row. You know what I mean? A modern man.
I
You
mean,
know,
shout
so
out to y'all, but like, holy shit.
imagine someone, yo, I can't get enough of Young Nate. I want some more Young Nate. You know, um, nah, but I'll say this now. Hearing these three songs back to back to back, and I'm like, you know what? We're and it wouldn't make sense, but I'm saying it now
Mhm.
because at this point it's like 2005, 2006. So there wasn't like a Watch the Throne or anything like that. Like
Yeah.
you so in my head, I'm like you said, was it supposed to be like a Charles and Nate tape? You know what I mean? That would have came out. And then part of me thinks, damn, like, why did we not get anything like that? Because this is what it
Mhm.
seemed like we were leading up to. And even though they had their falling out. Obviously, y'all know they ended up getting cool again, and they started making records with Demevolis and all that type of stuff. It's like they could have still did that later on in 2008, 2009 or whatever, but at the same time, that didn't happen either. So it definitely makes me wonder, like, what would have that have sounded like if we would have got a Charles and Nate project, a proper, it doesn't have to be an album, but project, you know what I mean, a
Yeah.
mixtape, whatever you want to call it. How would it came out? You know what I mean? And then would Nate have been bigger? You know what I mean? Would it be like one of those type of deals? But so with Modern Man, I actually don't have a problem with these songs because once again, Nate's a really good rapper, and Charles
Mhm.
and Nate they work well together. So it's kind of one of those things where I'm like, hey, third time's the charm, I guess. They go back and forth trading bars throughout this song. They're kind of doing like the Styles P, Jada Kiss type of deal.
Yeah.
And I'd say it's an unusual sample that you wouldn't expect to hear them on. Maybe Charles, but maybe not Nate. But
Mhm.
it gets turned into like a hard song, like a harder beat, so it kind of works well with both of them. And then I love how the sample like it goes in and out and they use the man,
Mhm.
that they do that, whatever. Um this song further shows, when you have the best of both worlds of like, oh, okay, you have Nate talking about this, you have Charles talking about this, but then they both get together talking about, what they want to talk about, being like, yo, I'm the man, or yo, who's a modern man, who's a better man than me, or this is that, you ain't the man, I'm the man, that whole deal. Uh, it's a good song overall. So
Yeah, I will say it's my least favorite of the collaborations with Charles and Nate on this tape. But again, I do like the Styles Kiss type of back and forth that they do. I kind of wish they would do that even more. So 'cause I think their type of energy and synergy works the best with it. But yeah, like I said, the sample with the man's, in the background. I like when Charles like does that with records. He does that with another record later on that I'm not, well, we'll get to that one. Um, but yeah, this is decent, solid outing. And I think that's great. I think that's enough Young Nate for this tape.
but it's
Next up
not.
is Live Life to the Fullest. Charles Anthony featuring Young Nate. Fortunately, we don't have to talk about this much because we have actually talked about this since episode one, actually. But I will ask you this. We talked about how we're not sure when this was made and what this was supposed to be. I kind of like your idea from the standpoint of, was this the original Pink Lava Lamp? And then it got scrapped, and that's why it's the broken lava lamp. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, toss this to the side, and that's the broken to the side. Now I have this new one, and that's what became the actual 2008 tape. I wonder if this being on here kind of solidifies that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because you obviously, my thing real quick. Classic song. This
Yeah.
probably I'd say this probably would be their best like objectively like best collaboration together. You know what I mean? One of them at least. Um, Classic song, but it's one of those things where like we've heard it before, and then it's like, well, if this was on here, how did it end up on the Pink Lavalamp that we know of? You know, so
Hmm.
like you said, that probably was the whole deal. You know, and I don't know, but it's definitely classic, classic song, classic. You know, Jackson 5 sample or Michael sample. You know, but dope song.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you haven't heard it, go fucking listen to it. Not sure what you've been doing if you haven't heard it.
Yeah. Usually if you're here, you've at least heard the Pink Lava Lamp. Usually, but we have run across people who say, yeah, I've been holding off. I'm like, but why though? Very interesting choices. Like, I don't know, man. But everybody's got different journeys, man. That's what I love about this StarCHaser life is everybody has literally a different like Charles Hampton discography journey. So no one is the same. Um,
Definitely.
we followed it up with What It's Gotta Be, featuring Show to Fly.
So this might be an unpopular opinion.
Okay.
Um, so this might be. I'm not gonna say it is. It's
Hmm.
between this and then another song that I would say are one of the weakest songs on here, or the weaker songs on here.
Okay.
Now when I say that, I'm not saying that it's a bad song. It's
Hmm.
one of those situations where you have to pick through whoever has the shortest straw loses or whatever. It's
Sure.
that deal where like literally all the straws, are a certain length or whatever, and then you just have like the shortest one where it's just like by a centimeter, where it's just like,
Mhm.
well, you just picked the shortest straw, which this is the shortest straw for you, or one of them. Um, Show does a good job on his verses. He I think he has two verses, and then Charles comes in. To
Mhm.
me, this song feels kind of like it was supposed to be like a Show to Fly song featuring Charles, because that's how it
Mhm.
sounds. The way Charles gets on here, he does his verse, whatever, and I think he goes in, and then he dips out. So to
Yeah.
me, I'm like, that's why I'm like, it kind of feel like it's not supposed to be on here. Like Charles maybe decided, hey, I'll just use this for my project, and if you want to use it for a project later, cool, whatever. But
Mhm.
that's how it feels. But this is the song I wanted to talk about. I'm not gonna let Charles run away from this one because Show says something very interesting. What Show says,
Talk a lot of smack, but I supply business. Money on my mind, I'm minding my business.
really, Show Too Fly in like 2006, I believe, minding my business. Charles didn't say that. That was Show. Show Too Fly said minding my business.
Yeah.
So did Charles take that from Show, and then he just ran with it ever since? Show's the first rapper to say minding my business on the track. It's right here. Charles, I need an answer, man. What Show is minding his business, and then now you're minding your business because you've been minding your business. You've been saying that on almost every track nowadays. So it's like, yo, what's up with that, man?
You are a sick individual, man.
I'm not the one that did it. I'm not the one that did it.
But like, can I ask you a question? So while you were listening to this record, right? Did you stop and be like, did you stop the record and be like, ain't no way, and then rewind it and be like, I can't believe this? When did you pick that up?
No, I definitely did that. When I first heard this project, obviously we didn't know about the mind of my business
Yeah.
thing then. But yeah, when re-listening to this, I was like, hold on, man. I was like, nah, he didn't say that. Tell me he did not just say that. Sucker. Nah, but for real, seriously, that's literally what I did. I was like, there's no way he said that. And I'm like, yo, that's definitely going in the notes. I'm like, that's getting talked about. I don't care. I don't care. I don't
That's
care what backlash I get. You know what I mean? I had to speak on it. We talk about the good, the bad, and everything in between. We gotta speak on it, man. We
yeah.
gotta figure out the origin of minding my business. Maybe I'm not minding my business by bringing this up, but I'll
Um,
deal with it. I'll deal with the repercussions. If I get dealt with, I get dealt with.
right. That's funny. The record, I can see what you mean if you listen to this tape and you're like, if you had to pick one that maybe didn't hit or that is it just in the back of the field, I can see this probably being there. Like if there's 15 songs, is this in the back five for a lot of people? Probably. It probably would be. Um, Show's verses are cool. They're not up to the level that I know that I've heard him before. I've heard Show on a lot of. I remember listening to old Show records. Like, remember when Charles was like making tapes for everybody? He made, well, mainly Show and Nate, but like when he would make tapes for Show and Nate or whatever, like they would have records where I'd be like, ooh, they're gonna be something. It's just not. I don't know if they're consistent enough yet to make the songs. And like I've heard Show rap better than this. It's not bad raps or whatever, but I know I've heard them better. And then when Charles comes on, it's like, all right, Charles really kind of kills this shit, whatever. So one of my favorite bars he has is you on that Barry Sanders shit, just running and lying. I was like, good stuff. Fire bar. But yeah, it's a cool record. It's not one of my favorite. It's a nostalgia record for me, just because I remember hearing this in college or whatever. But when it comes to Charles and Show records, it's not one of my favorites, and they definitely go on to make a lot more fire records together.
State of the art bars, cop the iCharles next to the iPod and Best Buy. Yes, I feel like there's dangers. I don't trust y'all niggas, so I'm feeling like Kramer. Fuck y'all niggas, I'm out. It is what it gotta be. It is what it gotta be. You ain't gotta lie to me. It is what it gotta be.
Next up is One More Time. Now, the funny thing about this one is I couldn't tell which one it was gonna be, because I don't know if anybody knows, Charles has a bunch of One More Time records. Because he has, honestly, you know what I thought it was gonna be? Charles has a One More Time record with Young Nate. I was like, there's no way he's making another Young Nate record. I want to know what that song is on, because I would love to review that record. I love that record with them too. But this is the one with just him. What did you think about this one?
It's an interesting take on the Daft Punk sample, because that's the first thing I thought of. Anytime I see or hear that phrase one more time, I'm like, Daft Punk, and then I hear the beat come in, I'm like, oh, yep, he did the Daft Punk sample. And that's one of those like dance EDM songs, whatever you want to call it, that's definitely has been, I don't want to say oversampled, but definitely at a certain point, at that point, people would definitely flip that a lot. Beat's good. This song actually kind of reminds me of, I think it was on the desk of my last song ever, because it has that type of feeling to it. Because Charles is talking about on the hook, basically that. Like, because on this song, he's like, I'm gonna give it to y'all one more time. I'm gonna do one more song. I'm gonna do one more hook. I'm gonna do one more verse. I'm gonna do one more. Just as the whole thing. And he's talking about in the music, like, hey, some of this music stuff, the drama, the stress, or whatever, it's a little crazy, and I'm not sure if I really want to, give my life to this, but music is my life. So until then, I'm gonna do it one more time. I'm gonna give y'all one more song, one more hit, one more, whatever. But Charles talked about his life and all that. And one thing I noticed also because of this song throughout Charles' career, this is another mention of Tupac getting shot. I said this before in an episode. I don't know what it is. And I asked Charles about it before. I'm like, why do you always have like a Tupac getting shot bar? You know what I mean? Like something about Tupac getting shot. Because I'm like, does he not like Tupac? Because he always mentions like Tupac getting shot. I'm like, bro, what's up with that? To the point where I'm like, I don't know. I love the outro and the monologue, because like the third verse going into the outro and monologue, you want to call it. Charles, like I say, speaking on his life, his past, and where he's trying to go next, because he's like, wow, I really just opened up there, and then he just kind of says, hey, but I had to get some stuff off my chest. And to me, how the song ended, I'm like, okay, this sounds more like it's supposed to be an outro, especially how he ended it. But then he says, this is a hell of a way to start off a tape, So in my head, I'm like, once again, we come back to what we said earlier. Because if this is supposed to be an intro, or this is supposed to be an intro for this project or a different one, because like I said, the song is pretty long, and I'm like, I don't know if you really want to start a song off this way for a project. What I mean? This sounds more like an outro. Either way, it kind of makes me wonder about that, but it's a cool song.
Yeah, a lot to say about this for me. Just trying to condense it together. Let's start with just the fact that the song itself. I think the song is great. I like to say the fact that he does kind of detail a lot about his life and when growing up and trying to, navigate, getting to this point and the rapping and what he loves, and talking about his cousin and how his cousin was like, yo, don't stop rapping. You're like, I think you're one of the best, and it kind of, motivates him. We've talked about his cousin plenty of times, right? Um, So I think the as far and that like I said, he's opening up. It feels like you're learning more about him, and that's why I like this record a lot. I remember this record. And I don't know if this actually ever intro the tape, but I feel like it did, and I don't know what tape it is. Again, with all the iPods and computers I've lost, I know I probably had it. I just don't remember which tape it is anymore. But I do understand what you're saying as far as it kind of sounds like an outro. At the same time, when I hear this record, you say it's more like my last song ever, which that opened the tape too, didn't it?
He did.
That was the opening. So I think this is kind of like to me, it's more like music for me from the Pink Lavalamp, in that it kind of sets the table of this is all I've done. This is all I do. Like I love music. Trying to get to this point and navigate and trying to make it in this industry or trying to be this rap star or whatever. At the end of the day, all I really want to do is make music, and sometimes it gets to a point where I just don't want to do it anymore. But even he kind of gets back to where again I'm gonna keep doing it one more time, whether the next time is the last time or not. I'm gonna do it one more time, and it feels like we've done this for up until now, up until today. You know what I'm saying? So I really like this record. I think it's an underrated record. I think if there was one song like, yo, go listen to this tape from this song from this tape, I would say it's this one, just because it gives you a lot of different elements of Charles or whatever. Also, I like you said the ending monologue where he goes, basically he says like, we're all in the same play, or everyone's a part of the cast. You know what I'm saying? I like that vivid like imagery for me is just like it's interesting and cool because like at the end of the day, we are all part of somebody's play or somebody's movie, and we all are cast members. But it just depends on what part you play in that person's life. You know what I'm saying? So it really makes you think. Just a really, really good record, I think, and it's an underrated track for sure.
I love that theater mention like of being we're all in a play, but depending on who you are, you might have a longer role, you might get cut, but that is true. That's true.
Yeah. Uh, I was surprised to see that this was not only the most viewed tape, but the most commented on song on the tape. Leave is next.
Leave is one of those other songs I think that I heard before this came out, like it got leaked. Because, when you go through the playlist, this has a different picture.
Mhm.
So I want to say that this probably was like dropped at some point before the actual tape got dropped, or leaked, whatever the case was. But I definitely remember hearing this at one point and being like, when did this come out? Whatever. And I like the song. Emotional song about, breaking up or losing someone, that whole deal. And Charles kind of like talks about, man, like, I was with this person and then it didn't work out. And I think we should get back together because, I feel like I can't live without you. I feel like, it's supposed to be me and you in the end. Definitely a deep cut for Charles Hampton fans, for StarCHasers. Like you said, a lot of people, has a lot of views, a lot of, so this is definitely one of those like, hey, did you know this song? Have you heard this one before? Especially, years ago versus now. There's almost every song could be considered a deep cut now, or technically a hidden gem because
Yeah.
there's so many songs out there that people haven't heard. But definitely at the point that I'm talking about, this definitely was like a, hey, have you ever heard this one before? Probably not, but check it out.
Yeah. I've heard this record a lot, and maybe I'm on the unpopular side. It just does nothing for me. The beat's fire. I'll say that. The beat's definitely fire. This is another one where the sample kind of does Charles kind of uses the sample to like incorporate into the song, into the hook or whatever. And I think that's cool. I think the verses are fine. I just, when it comes to the song itself, I'm just like, it's fine. I'm not gonna seek it out, but I can understand why people really like this record. So, you know, it's I understand. It's just never done anything for me personally.
Respect. I respect that.
Um, Again, don't have to spend much time on this because we both talked about this record ad nauseum. Pretty Brown Eyes, great sample, great record. Uh, Do you have anything else to add to that?
Other than I want to say we put this on one of the playlists. I think it was the party playlist or whatever. This is my favorite song from this
Mhm.
project. Bar none. You know what I mean? Everything about it, what I mean, the flip, the sample, the verses, Charles not like letting the sample be the hook and the bridge, where it's like
Mhm.
you don't need to sing, let them do the singing or whatever. Add your little 2 cents, add your little ad libs in, fire. But yeah, this song sounds like a throwback to me. Like even back then, even now, it just sounds like, oh man, this just brings me back to the good old days. But definitely my favorite from this project.
For sure. Very, very vintage. Even now, it's aging like fine wine. You could drop this at any time and it's gonna be fire. Keep Dreaming, featuring Paris.
This song, I would say, along with the Show to Fly song, it's between these two that I would say like are the short straws of the project. I like the beat of this song. It feels like I feel like it's going to be like a hit and miss for some fans. Like some people would like the beat, some people might not. So it just all depends. Uh, Charles has some good bars in here. The hook's decent. Paris is cool, but there's nothing really too crazy about the song. So like I said, it's like one of the short straws of this project, and just that's just how it is.
Yeah, I'm on the same wavelength. It's the beats fire again, back to back fire. Really just the whole tape has been full of fire beats. But this beat is fire. But I think that to me is the highlight. Charles verse is cool. I don't really remember Paris's stuff as much. Um, but yeah, the records it's there. I don't know if I don't listen to it that much, but it's gonna be some people's cup of tea, and then everybody else I think it's gonna be like, it's whatever.
Yeah,
We finished the tape off with Coming Around, which we've also heard before. Cannot remember what tape it was though.
come on, man. Um,
Is this Dilla?
yes. And
Yeah.
then they play Della, the first one.
But is
First,
it called that still? It is, right?
yes, it's called Coming Around. So this beat is it's actually it's Slim Village's song, Players, but it's Dilla made the beat,
Right,
whatever.
yeah.
Yeah, that's it. But yeah, this is from and then they play Dilla.
But I feel like it was on another tape too. But this is one of those songs where it's like it's remember from Dilla, but it's also been on other tapes. And I think it was maybe named something else on the other tape, but I can't remember vividly. But yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I know it's not the same thing, but I remember when we did like American Gangsta, there was like one of those songs that like was from another project where it's like, why is this on here? But it's like kind of like more of a snippet than anything. But it's that deal. I mean, the song, once again, we talked about, that episode before. We talked about, and then I played Della. If you haven't seen that episode, go ahead, watch it. It's one of the earlier ones. It's a good song though. But it's just one of those things where I'm like, respectfully, I don't think this song's supposed to be on here at all. It doesn't sound like it matches. You know what I mean? Just the aesthetic, I guess, just how it sounds sonically. It definitely belongs on the and then they play Dilla project versus here where it's just like this feels more like a bonus. Like, oh, I'm just gonna just add it on there.
Yeah, and as an outro, I don't know if it fits right. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a good record. I just don't know if it fits as an outro. I don't know what I would have flipped it with. Um, to really make it feel like an outro to a tape, but uh itself it's a solid record, and it's a it's a good song to end the tape, but not a good outro, if that makes sense.
Definitely does. I get you. I get what you mean. Even if we didn't have and then they played Dilla, if I would have heard this, I'm like, it's still a good song, but I would have put this like somewhere early in the project. Definitely not
Mhm.
in the back end of the project.
Yeah. Um, with that said, do you have anything before we review the tape?
I'm ready. I'm ready to review. Let's do it.
We listened to the Broken Pinkin? What the fuck is that?
What do you think about? You think about something, bro? I
What
don't
it
know.
what was that? Okay, hold on.
The Broke
We
Pink
just
Mountain?
listened to
Yo,
we just listened to the Broken Pink Lavalamp in 2025. Let us know how you're gonna review it, man. The pros and cons and the character rating you are going to give it today, Mike.
so I can easily say, with these 15 songs or whatever, I don't think there's really a bad song on here at all. Like I said, between the two songs with Show and then with Paris, those songs are still decent. I just think that compared to some of the other ones that like are just a lot better, those songs kind of like they kind of fade in the back, but still decent songs that I wouldn't skip. I wouldn't skip anything on here. The only other issue is coming around and then live life to the fullest. They're on two other projects. So those are my two skips right there. Technically, where it's like, hey, I can just listen to those other projects for that. The other two songs. So technically, for me, like 11 out of what is it, 11 out of 15, whatever that like I really really enjoy.
Mhm.
Um, like I said, nothing really bad on here. Um, I'm gonna say this, and this might sound crazy. So I kind of look at this project like how people used to look at Sonic CD, because we had Sonic 1, Sonic 2, and people didn't
Mhm.
really know like where did Sonic CD land? Was it like before Sonic 1? Was it after Sonic 1?
Mhm.
Is it an alternate universe? Because that's how people looked at it. Like, oh, like Sonic CD is like if you went to the left, and Sonic 2 is if you went to the right, whatever.
Mhm.
Regardless of however you want to look at it, I feel like this project is definitely underrated just because how everyone looks at the Pink Lava Lamp, and then basically no one gives this enough love. So overall, for me, I can't give it a supersonic. Like if I took off those even if I probably took off the two repeating songs technically, this would have a higher chance of being a supersonic. But I will say this. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna give it a tails. I'm gonna say it's no, 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 nope. Officially, I'm gonna give it a base on it because I feel like if I say it's tails, I feel like I'm being like a punk doing that. Just me.
Mhm.
I'm gonna give it a base on it because compared to some of the other lava lamps that we heard out here, it's not pink lava lamp. It's not a regular pink lava lamp, but I like this better than black lava lamp. I like it a lot more than blue lava lamp. This is definitely if there aren't any other lava lamps out here, this is just right under pink just because of like it's really good, it's solid as well, and it just doesn't get enough love because maybe people just hear pink lava lamp and think of just the regular one. I'm gonna give it a base Sonic. It's just like I said, other than the two songs that are and then the other repeating songs, this definitely deserves to be higher. But Charles did his thing on here even with the four Nate songs, whatever. Still, it still is really good. It's a really good project.
Yeah, I think the only like real negatives that you not negatives, but like the feedback I would give it, criticism, is I would have maybe sequenced this a little bit differently. Having four back-to-back Nate records just seemed like an odd choice, especially when you have 15 tracks. You could probably space that out. Even if there's a couple you can go back to back on, you could have spaced the other two out. Um, just from a hindsight, because you don't never know when these were built together. Live Life to the Fullest probably didn't need to be here. Like I said, Coming Around didn't need to be here, but they're here. So and they're good records. So it's not like it bogs the tape down. It's just kind of like a repetitive thing or whatever. And they fit better on other projects, obviously. But yeah, this is a good tape, man. This is full of really good music. Um, some like really, really good highs if you're talking like Do It and Pretty Brown Eyes. An underrated record on here, like One More Time, that kind of really speaks to who Charles is as a rapper and like his journey. Some fun like outros and monologues on here, like with Ladybug and stuff. Yeah, this is a really good tape. Um, Yeah, it is. This is a base Sonic tape. I think if it maybe some editing kind of puts it in that supersonic status, but even so, just as is, a base Sonic for a tape that may or may not have been the original Pink Lava Lamp, or may or may not have been just a tape put together around the time for it to be this good and full of this amount of good music. It's a testament to just how he was putting together music at this time. So yeah, I'm going to base Sonic. This is a really good tape. I would definitely tell people to go listen to this one.
Yeah, especially like the newer Star Chasers that even if they've never heard the original Pink Lava Lamp, I guess you could say, listen to the Broken Pink Lava Lamp because this is definitely up there. And I thought about it. So another reason why I'm giving this a base Sonic too is because we've talked about from the desk up, we haven't talked about sober karaoke yet, but we've heard those. And hey, they're rough around the edges, but you could tell it's Charles, getting everything kind of together and kind of figuring out what he wants to do.
Hmm.
And then sometime after that, he came out with this. So like he like you go, okay, this is pretty good, this is decent. He's starting off, then Broken Pink Lavalamp, so the trajectory just like shot up like extremely well. So I don't know if there are other projects we never heard that was in the middle of that, but it's kind of just like, hey, you have two good tries or whatever that were pretty decent, and then you just like instantly just like shot up the ranks with
Yeah,
this one. So it's like you musically you showed your ass off. So
for sure. But let us know what you think about the Broken Pink Lava Lamp. How do you feel about this collection of songs? Do you think this was the original? Do you think this was something that was kind of put together afterwards? And what are your favorite songs from there? Let us know over on StarCHaser Central on YouTube. You can check us out on Twitter, StarCH Central. You can also follow us on our individual pages. I'm at Stick Around 54, STIK Around 54 on Twitter and Instagram. Mike, where can they find you, buddy?
on Instagram, the Mike Jackson, Mike Jackson. On Twitter, Mike D Jackson. That's Mike D Jackson, 1D, 2 E's. Holla at me. Don't ask for my Facebook. Don't hit me up on Facebook. Don't do no. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. Yep. You know about it. Charles knows about it, but the rest of y'all, it's cool. It's cool. Not Facebook, but Instagram and Twitter. Just keep it there. Keep it simple. Y'all can follow Charles on Twitter at Charles Hamilton. You could check out his YouTube, subscribe to the YouTube at the talented Mr. Hamilton. For the most part, Charles is always trying to do lives like every Friday, every weekend, whatnot. So, whenever you see him go live, go check it out. And if you miss it, you can always watch the review, because he always leaves those running after. If you miss it originally, you can see it after. And then last but not least, Charles has been doing some blogging recently or whatever, because he kind of shied away from it for a little bit. He was busy, but if you want some more updates on Charles in his life and what he's doing, check out the blog. Enter the hamilton.blogspot.com. There it is.
Let us know what you want us to review next. Any tapes? We're looking for all different types of tapes, man. Think we're only down to one lava lamp left. So, so we'll get to that eventually. But we want us to all types of tapes, man. I actually thought of like an idea as we were talking. I would love to kind of go like do our best, like like an episode where we do like our best like CH and Young Nate collabs, best CH show 2 5 collabs. 'Cause I think there's a lot that they won't end up on uh they won't end up on tapes that maybe we review or whatever. So I want to kind of get those shine, because there's a few records that definitely should be talked about because they are really good records. But other than that, Mike, you have anything for the people before we head out?
Just the usual. Thank you guys for checking out another episode. We appreciate the requests and you guys asking, hey, can you cover this? How about this idea, that idea? Like I told y'all earlier, if you don't see your episode come up yet, don't worry. It's in the works, it's in progress. We just be patient with us, and we appreciate you guys still checking us out, because we want to keep this going as long as possible. And we want to make sure it's entertaining for everyone. So yeah, podcast rated E for everyone. So, thank you guys.
Yeah, man. Just appreciate everybody still tapping in, even as we close in on 2 years of this. So yeah, definitely appreciate everybody. We are logging out of the StarCHaser Central podcast, man, where we always encourage you to follow your dreams
And reach for the stars.
And now I got the game on live. Much more than they can see. I went from rocking pink to this day still rocking pink. So put it together.